Alright, transmission has begun. We are live.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
chucklefucks.
And demonetized. Again.
We're never gonna be monetized.
No, I know. I just like making that joke whenever somebody swears on here.
Let's go over what we're gonna be talking about today. The original editor for the first three Star Wars movies, Marcia Lucas, George Lucas's wife, has spoken out against Kathleen Kennedy, J.J. Abrams, and the sequel trilogy by Disney, claiming they don't get it. Now, I personally say, I completely agree. They don't get Star Wars. Not once. Not at all. Do any
The
do any
fucking.
do either of you have anything to say
George.
on that?
Well, I was trying to fucking talk.
Sorry.
But, so they don't get Star Wars at all.
Hmm.
But more than that, they don't understand storytelling on a basic, fundamental level.
That is also a
Like-
big problem.
Of the three main sequel films, like, each one is fundamentally broken at almost every level.
Hmm.
From, like, plot to characters to world building,
Yeah, like
themes.
yeah, like let's talk about this for a sec. We're supposed to believe that these movies take place about 30 years after Return of the Jedi, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Jedi have basically ceased to exist in myth, despite the fact that they are still within living memory. I believe that people
Yeah.
forget that the prequel trilogy is supposed to take place about 18 years before the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And people still knew about Jedi.
Yeah, it was still a common thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
and we should also not neglect to mention that Jedi are still within living memory. This is a big problem
And
in The
probably
Mandalorian
still
as well,
alive.
where people act like they just disappeared.
Well,
Like
how
the-
much of that is Mandalorian's fault, and when it's trying to fit in with like the timeline?
Well, The
PFA, when
Mandalorian
they
takes
say
place
that it's a
directly
myth.
after Return of the Jedi.
No
At least,
shit.
or at least
Well,
a few time afterwards.
So yeah, it is The Mandalorian's fault.
Dang it.
One of the many
Mandalorian.
reasons why it's actually pretty shit. Now, you're welcome to like it, of course. You're welcome to like whatever you like. I personally don't have many... I personally find shit to be a very acquired taste. But then again, I like Vegemite. So,
Don't know what that is.
it's an Australian spread.
Oh.
so it's a made-up word.
Technically, all words are made up.
Yeah, but Australia is like especially made up.
Whatever. We're gonna be going over this Variety article. Let's read out. Marcia Lucas, the Oscar-winning editor for the original Star Wars, wasn't very happy with Disney's sequel trilogy. She said that producer Kathleen Kennedy and director J.J. Abrams do not get it, and the storylines are terrible. I am inclined to agree with this. In an interview with J.W. Reisner, his book, Howard Kazumanji, A Producer's Life, okay. Doesn't really sound like an interesting book. Which examines the prolific producer's life, including his time on the Star Wars franchise. I think this is a quote from her. I like Kathleen. I always liked her. She was full of beans. She was really smart and really bright. Really wonderful woman. And I liked her husband, Frank. I like them a lot, but now she's running Lucasfilm and making movies. It seems to me that Kathleen and J. Abrams don't have a clue what's about Star Wars. They don't get it, and J. Abrams is writing these stories. When I saw that movie where they killed Han Solo, I was furious. I was furious that when they killed Han Solo. Alright, yeah. Furious when absolutely positively there was no rhyme or reason to it. I thought you don't get the Jedi story. You don't get the magic of Star Wars. You're getting rid of Han Solo, Lucas says in the book. Now, I'm fine with the idea of killing off Han. The problem is how they did it. Like,
trying to show his son affection.
It would be great if it was an actual sacrifice or something like that. But instead, he just gets, shanked by his son. Like, look at how Obi-Wan died in the original trilogy.
But it was a sacrifice.
Yes,
it was a weird one, but it was a sacrifice.
And what he did say did come true. He did become more powerful than anyone could possibly imagine.
Yeah, I mean, throw lightning bolts, catch lightsabers.
Since the Force Ghost can just interact with the living realm.
We don't talk about that. Not yet.
Well, actually, I think I don't know if this was true or not, but I think I heard somewhere that an original plan for Star Wars was for the Force Ghost to come back or something like that, and help in the fight or something. I can't tell.
Yeah, it was in the Episode 9 leaks that there was going to be an army of fucking
9 leaks?
Jedi ghosts that were going to fight Palpatine.
Can we get back to this now?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, good. She served as an editor for Star Wars, for which she has won an Oscar for film editing in 1977, and Return of the Jedi, and she was an uncredited editor on The Empire Strikes Back. Lucas was credited with editing the thrilling Battle of Yavin and Death Star assault sequences in the first film of the trilogy. Commendable. Her other editing credits include Taxi Driver. Gonna have to watch that at some point. I've been meaning to for a while. Which she earned a BAFTA nod for. She also edited American Graffiti, which nabbed her an Oscar nom. And Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. And New York, New York. She was also married to Star Wars creator George Lucas. Well, was married to George Lucas between 1969 and 83. Having worked on the original trilogy, she criticized the deaths of Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Leia Organa, and Rey, played by Ridley in Disney's trilogy of sequels. I agree that how Rey died was retarded, and her resurrection is twice as retarded.
I remember, as in the movie, I was like, at least she's fucking dead. Ben kind of rises from the fucking pit. No.
They've Luke disintegrate, Han Solo killed, they killed Luke Skywalker, and they don't have Princess Leia anymore. And they're spitting out movies every year. And they think it's important to appeal to a woman's audience. Now, I don't think this part is inherently bad, appealing to a woman's audience. But you also have to know your audience, how you're going to...
I'm sorry, what woman wants this?
Yeah, how they go about it is stupid. But appealing to a woman's audience isn't inherently bad. Now with Star Wars, I'd say it's not the best decision because because the fan base is predominantly male. It's an objective fact.
Well, I mean, the Force is female. And when a Jedi dies, they become part of the Force.
We can talk about we could actually talk about the sequel trilogy's problem with actual misogyny in a bit.
Very much just be made of midichlorians. The whole body is.
Where was I? Oh, also, I don't think John Favreau is that great anymore because he supported the idea of the Force as female. So yeah.
I saw there was a meme. It was like Anakin's mother was like, "I was impregnated by the Force, but the Force is female. How'd I get pregnant?"
Does that make the Force a lesbian?
Oh, lesbians can't have children.
That means that
I mean, legally they can, but like they can't conceive.
May I continue?
Yes.
So now the main character is this female who's supposed to have Jedi powers, but we don't know how she got the Jedi powers. Yeah, I agree with the sentiment of not knowing where the powers come from, because this is a big issue with a lot of characters these days. We don't see a lot of the time we don't see how a character's origin functions or where they got their powers. We don't answer these questions with the likes of Thor because they're inherent to his kind.
He's a godman.
Yeah, exactly.
Born with them.
Yeah. And we don't question it with, say, Iron Man, because he's got an incredible intellect, and we can presume it has been developing it over the years. Plus, we see
his dad was
a genius. So we also see like glimpses into his past through like the opening credits of the movie.
Also, it's very reasonable for someone to be smart.
Yeah. But say Kamala
exaggerated
Khan. But say Kamala Khan. Marvel's current Miss Marvel. We have no clue where her powers come from.
Yeah, we do.
Was it the Terrigen bomb?
Yeah.
Oh. But I'm talking like in the comics.
Yeah, Terrigen bomb.
Oh, okay. My bad.
There was a whole story there was a whole story where they released a Terrigen mist around the entire Earth.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. There's also this is from the TV show, but there were the three called the Ones. Like there was the daughter, the son, and the father. Each one was like a special force wielder. The son was like the dark side. The father was like the light side, and the father was like the bad.
All right. On quick side note: why have the Inhumans when you also have the mutants?
Because they're different.
But why? They're both superpowered evolutions of humans. They're the same thing.
Okay, well, I have Spider-Man and the Hulk. They're both radioactive people. They're both humans transformed by radiation.
Whatever. Alright. I'm coming up with some bad examples. Okay, can either of you come with some good examples of characters who we have no clue where their powers come from? Despite the fact that it's a major part of their character and we probably should know where their abilities come from.
Okay, so it's not... I think what she's implying with Rey is like where her power comes from is like it's not where she power comes, it's how she is so powerful. Because because we understand that Force users are just born.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the thing we know. That's just in Star Wars.
Hmm.
It's just that she's like really good at the Force off the bat with no training.
Hmm. And also, it only just like became a thing at this
Maybe
point,
she's
despite the
one of the
fact
ones.
that Force users show signs throughout their entire lives. Even since childhood, it's been established since the Clone Wars series.
Yeah, speaking of that, if
In
you
that
look
one
at
episode where Cad Bane abducts a bunch of babies.
if you look at chat, there were these three from the Clone Wars.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
These
Aren't
were the
they?
ones. These had like they had like the unique connection to the Force. The daughter on the right
Was the
being
light?
connected to only to yeah. Then the right on the left is the dark, and then I think the father was either like a balance or something like that. I'd have to read up on what they were.
Hmm.
All I know is that the daughter was light. The son was dark.
And the father was the bridge between the two.
I'm guessing I'd have to. I'm trying to read up on them right now.
Hmm.
You you guys talk about something while I try to
Also, I'm
figure
pretty
it out.
sure like both the light and dark side can be used for amoral reasons.
Oh yeah, definitely. Both can be used in for their own ways.
Hmm.
The dark used more for the twisted ways, as its abilities are more used in like torturous manners with
The more
lightning,
violent
like that.
abilities.
Yeah, like that. Like light side users, they can apparently use a form of like force lightning, but it's like not as strong.
Hmm.
It's like called something Judgment. It was used by I think his name was Plo Koon, like the weird guy who like wore like the
It's
mask.
not weird, it's cool.
Well, I know, but I just said weird because I couldn't remember I can remember his face, can't remember his name.
Hmm. Alright, back to the thing.
Yeah, balance was maintained. Hang on, sorry for interrupting. Yeah, balance was maintained between the son and the daughter by the father.
Oh, she also said that we don't know who she is. Uh, it it sucks. The storylines are terrible, just terrible, awful. You can quote me. Uh, J.J. Abrams, Kathleen Kennedy, talk to me. Lucas says in the book. That's the article.
Hmm.
I don't. It's just Ray is just like the most archetypical Mary Sue.
Hmm.
No, it's Mar-Ray Sue. I say it right.
Like even like the original character that they made for the term Mary Sue, she fucking died in her story.
Hmm.
Ray beat her in Mary Sue-ness. It's just the whole Disney trilogy is just fucking mess.
Hmm. It's
Hmm.
almost on the level of Empress Teresa.
What?
You don't want to know.
You're right, we don't.
Trust me, you're better off.
Who is this Empress Teresa?
She's a character from a shit book with a whole lot of just massive glaring errors from both grammatical sentence structure and it's just broken on every single level.
Was this book written by a woman?
No.
Alright, good, you're not sexy.
Right.
So,
Should we also talk about how how a lot of fandoms these days are glorifying terrible relationships, abusive relationships, like relationship,
examples?
the one between Rey and Kylo.
All right. Any more?
Let's see. Let's see. She-Ra and Catra. They're a shit relationship, and it's one that's built on constant deception and like just constantly baiting She-Ra into a bunch of traps by Catra. So like, what the fuck? Why do people like She-Ra? Why do people want them to be together? Explain to me. And like people are like upset about the portrayal of and I've seen that people don't like the portrayal of the relationship between Joke and Holly because it's abusive, despite the fact that that's the point of the thing, and it's supposed to call out
the whole point.
and it's supposed to show you what it's like. Because from what I've seen, you clearly don't understand how abusive relationships work.
The problem is that
you're supposed to be like a relentless follower to him no matter what.
It's like, oh, wow, fucking Indiana Jones. He glorifies Nazis because he fights them in his movies.
That's retarded.
Yeah, it's portrayed as bad. Portrayed as bad in the film. Just because the film has the thing that's bad doesn't mean the film like supports it.
Indiana Jones was a good movie. It was a good movie.
And like, here's the thing. I do like gay characters. I would like to see more, if I'm honest, but not like stereotypical gay best friend type characters. I mean like actual, like interesting gay characters with their own stories and lives outside of their sexuality. Because you don't see them
the Owl House
these days. It's all these people just write stories about, oh, this person is gay, and that's all they have to them.
Did you ever watch The Owl House?
No.
I've seen one episode.
It's a really, I really enjoy it. They have like a really nice romance build up between the main character
I
and
heard
who like started out as an antagonist.
I've seen some of the screenshots between them. There is definitely chemistry between them.
Yeah, but it was nice how they started out as like the one that started out as like an enemy type, but it got like way better over the series, where people wanted it to happen, and then finally it did. I recommend that show greatly. Just waiting on. It also has like a really interesting story. Sure, it's like the classic, random human gets transported to like a magical world, and tries to find a way home, but it's used in like a really nice way, and even if it has like filler episodes, it's like really nice. Also
now while we're talking about the Masters of the Universe franchise thing, I believe I was going to recount one of the episodes. But, remember how I told you about how Skeletor hired...
Adam's framed for murder.
Sorry?
Adam's framed for murder.
Yeah.
I said murder.
Mortar.
How Skeletor hired some mook with no heart, biologically speaking.
Oh my god, he hired the Greek.
Look, it doesn't make sense biologically, but you have to remember it's an alien world and it's a world of magic, so there are some things that you have to, what's the word?
Suspend your disbelief.
Yes, that's it. This is a world where this is a thing that happens.
Do you guys notice the very quick like blink and you'll miss it gay kiss scene or like lesbian kiss scene in Rise of
Rise of
Skywalker.
Skywalker. Yeah,
That could easily be edited out for
it
places that don't
was.
like that kind of thing. I know.
It was edited out for China.
I
No,
know.
it was stunning and it was brave.
There's nothing stunning and brave about something that you can miss.
Did you know Steven Universe did something kind of like that, but they did it different. They did it like way better. So
Hold on a sec. ER did a great video series on the legend of Korra. Basically, like, he illustrates every single thing that's wrong with the show on a
No,
on a moment-to-moment basis. Basically.
No.
better show.
Sorry.
no,
Uh,
doesn't.
Oh, what nah, it's been a while since I've seen it. What remind me?
He only does the first season,
Oh. Oh, right.
so it's not the whole show.
But he also does cover that mini-series thing.
The Origins of the Avatar, which
Yeah.
is retarded.
Yeah. It was absurdly retarded.
Anyway, no, what did you? Did you ever notice? So, did you ever watch Steven Universe? Sorry, I'm going back to that.
Yeah, I also covered that as well, and the fandom surrounding it. It's very, very... the fandom is very toxic.
I have seen some of Steven Universe.
Well, no, so
Also, while we're on these shows, like Steven Universe and She-Ra reboot particularly, their animation is utter shit. There's no consistency. All the characters are just constantly warped in proportion. One scene, Steven is like tiny, barely able to reach the table. Never seen. Like he's like a what around the size of say a pearl or something. There's just no consistency.
a show for kids about magical gems. There's generally no consistency. No, I know, I get what you mean.
But what that should never be used as a defense, though.
No, I'm not. I know what you mean.
He's joking.
I know, but I'm saying people do use that defense legitimately, which is retarded. Because shouldn't you want more from children's media? Shouldn't you expect them to be the best thing that they could possibly be? Because this is what you're basically raising your kids on.
Yeah,
Children deserve worse. Destroy your children.
But no. Anyway, I was supposed to say one of the main gem characters, Garnet. She's like a fusion between two gems.
I know.
So pick since every gem is a female, Steve is like the only male gem, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Other places like
technically the creators constantly say that they're sexless, so why do they constantly why do they all just look like this one gender though? When can't they just aren't they also shapeshifters, so they could just look however they want?
Yeah, like I don't know.
No.
Oh.
What I know about the show is they can only shapeshift for a limited amount of time.
Oh.
Yeah, they can they're able to like do this thing where if they like get poofed and turn back into their gem, they can like change their like body design for how their body will look. And then they can like do that, but it's only when they're like poofed back in like gem state, because their bodies are not physical. Their bodies just like a projection coming from the gem, pretty much. The gem is the only physical thing. Bodies can still be like hurt and damaged, but the gem is like that's the only way to fully kill them is to destroy the gem. But no, anyway, back to what I was saying. People like places that like don't like lesbian couples, okay? would say that ruby, one of the gems that garnet's made up of, it act kind of like an angry male, kind of. So people would say that he was that I can't speak. That Ruby was a male. Um, but so what they did a wedding episode since Ruby and Sapphire were the two who loved each other like immensely, so that's why they could stay fused for like forever.
Mm.
They did a wedding episode where they put Ruby in a wedding dress and Sapphire in tuxedo.
Yeah, I know.
So they swapped to which people thought was really cool. I liked that episode a lot.
It's whatever. On that, isn't
Yeah.
they also say that fusion is supposed to be an allegory for sex?
Oh,
They also, it's also
Don't.
clearly shown in the show to be erotic, in a way.
The dance is my
Don't talk about the rape episode.
I was about to.
The what?
Fuck. The rape episode in Steven Universe.
What, like forced fusions?
Yeah, essentially. Fucking, was it Pearl
Hmm.
lies and manipulates Garnet into fusing?
Yeah.
Well,
Again, ER does a great job. Does a much better job at handling and discussing the problems with Steven Universe than, well, I think I could. Mostly because I haven't seen much of the show. But yeah, I'm not particularly happy with this being in kids media. I think this is something that you should be put into something more for teenagers and the like. Teenagers and adult media.
anyway, back to what we were doing before we got sidetracked.
Before we were talking about rocks raping each other.
Yeah, we were talking about we were talking about Star Wars editor Marcia Lucas' take on the sequel trilogy.
Actually, you guys I gotta go do dishes. I'll be right back.
Alright, no worries.
She has a very intelligent take.
Yeah, very good take. And it's very sound, I'd say.
Yeah.
Well, since we have one viewer right now, why don't you say something? I'd like to engage with
Oh,
whoever's
that's
watching.
me.
Oh, okay.
I just have the stream pulled up
Okay.
just to make sure everything's running smoothly.
Right. Can you hear yourself?
I have muted
Oh.
echo.
Right. So where was I?
I don't know. Where were you?
I think I was talking about Marcia Lucas's take on sequel trilogy. Yeah. A lot of shenanigans go on with the like a lot of the accusations are thrown around by the newer fans of Star Wars, particularly the ones who are religiously accepting the stuff from the sequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they say shit like, you can't criticize it because it's a movie made for children about space wizards.
Mm-hmm.
AFAB covered
is-
this thing as well, so yeah.
Fucking retarded.
Yeah, like the content of the movie is irrelevant. We can suspend our disbelief, but only to a certain point.
Content is relevant.
Hmm.
You just said content of the movie is irrelevant. I
Oh
think you
shit.
meant target audience of the
Yeah,
movies.
that's
or
what I
whatever.
meant. That's what I meant. Who it's meant for is irrelevant so long as the story is told properly.
Sound.
Yeah, exactly. Like the He-Man episode I mentioned, it's done very soundly. Like the actual plot for Skeletor is pretty clever, so long as you're able to suspend your disbelief about the monsters without the biological hearts. Like,
Mhm.
here's the. I'm gonna recount the scene where He-Man is framed. Basically, he rips down a portal thing, or a portal frame thing, which ends up crushing the dude with no heart. And is like, oh shit, I killed the guy got
Oh,
crushed.
he says, "Oh shit."
No, I'm paraphrasing. And Skeletor, who is disguised, is like, you killed my brother! You... You're a killer! You're no better than Skeletor! Or something like that. It's been a while since I've seen the episode.
You're gay, He-Man.
but yeah, you can see that there's actual some in the original He-Man, everything was wrapped up within 20 minutes. But give it you kind of have to give it a little bit of credit because the show was by nature had to be episodic. There was a joke in one of the episodes about Skeletor being upset about not wanting to be good because he saved some kid. And He-Man was like, don't worry about it, man. We'll be at it again next week. And that just made Skeletor feel a little better.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's a kids show, but it's like a frenemy sort of thing. They're rarely out to kill each other. And when you look at something like Thundercats, it's a little more complicated because it's actual serialized show. I'm talking the original Thundercats. The whole point of the show is we gotta we gotta take down Mumra. And the cool thing about the actual lore of Thundercats is they're on a planet called Third Earth. Guess what?
Third Earth?
Yeah, Third Earth. Guess what? It's just Earth in the Third Age. After a second nuclear genocide. Yeah.
Whoa.
That's why you don't see people in that show. You just see animal people. That's really cool, isn't it?
Dystopian.
Yeah. And the fauna and all that has taken over the land. This is all really cool lore and stuff. And, I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but in the original He-Man, his mum is actually an astronaut from Earth who's come to Eternia and ended up marrying the king.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of cool stuff in these 80s shows, which is kind of ignored in my biggest gripes with these reboot shows is they have virtually nothing to do with the original lore or and they're nothing like the original shows. So if you're gonna do that, just make your own original thing.
Yeah, at this point.
Because this new thing, this reboot thing, virtually has nothing to do with the original lore and story and all that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna do I have issue, like, I have this sort of thing with the Gundam alternate timelines. I'm not particularly happy with a lot of them. Like, Gundam Wing is fucking retarded. Gundam Seed is a fucking dog shit, and even more retarded. G Gundam is virtually nothing like Gundam, because it's a super robot show, but I do think it's still a pretty good show, so I let it slide a little bit. Gundam X could conceivably take place in the UC timeline, so it does, it does work. Turn A Gundam takes place after pretty much all the others, in where they eventually, at some point, all lead to one point. The Gundam timelines are weird.
They sound fucking strange as shit.
Yeah, it's a bit. When I think about it, it is a bit hard to get into. But if you know what you're doing, you can easily find where to start. Well, there's only really one place to start. That's the original show or the movie trilogy. Which, and now here's the thing: the movie trilogy is the one that's canon. Because there's a few things that are different between the show and the movie trilogy. Like, some stuff from the show was left out, some of the stuff in the movies was a bit more developed, stuff like that.
What else to do for the stream?
The degradation of children's media.
Sure.
Like, look at Ben 10.
Oh no.
Like when it started, and even up to and even up to Omniverse to some extent, it was still inherently an action show at core. The focus was the action. Now, despite what the advertisements for what Omniverse said, the show was still built on the pillar, or the biggest pillar being action, with a smaller pillar of, comedy. And there's still, plenty of dramatics in the shows. So these were, important things in the show. But in this new reboot, it's just... Well... It's just mostly comedy. Like, there's action in there, and there's definitely some pretty good animation from what I've seen. But it's very little like the original. Which is also a big thing with, the Teen Titans Go thing, which... why are you associating it with the... If you're not trying to upset original fans... And why are you making it the exact same team and voice cast of the original?
Yeah, airing on the same network.
And not that, why are you also replacing Young Justice, which was a excellent action show? I've heard the defense that it's supposed to introduce younger generations to these characters and the mythology surrounding these things. But you can easily do that with proper action shows that do represent the content of the...
I was introduced to Batman the animated series.
Yeah, and I was introduced to Batman in... I think it was... give me a minute. Yeah, I was introduced to Batman through the Nolan movies. Now, are they particularly representative of content? Not entirely, but they do represent a version of him, and they do it very well. My first introduction to animated Batman, however, was Brave and the Bold, which is supposed to be like the Silver Age stuff. Which I think, yeah, it's a pretty good doing of it. I enjoyed it. And it also has a lot of callbacks to Golden Age stuff, which is pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
So, like, say what you want about the show, it's very earnest.
Yeah.
That's a thing that I feel like has been missing from a lot of shows these days, and even movies. Very few of them have an actual reverence for what they are. Like, a lot of them are embarrassed of what they're based off.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like has been an issue. And I don't exactly know what else to say.
I don't know either.
I suppose this is the shortest episode yet.
Probably.
I guess
we could have this just be a Soulcast mini.
I guess, but yeah, I guess my biggest concern is how will children turn out when this is all over?
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna have like this bounce back where we're getting like propaganda stuff that decries feminism as degeneracy and like homosexuality and all that like as degenerate shit? Like,
Who knows?
because there's gonna be some sort of bounce back. It's inevitable. It always happens. If you look to history, it happens every single time.
Yeah.
And with like people rallying the streets against government, it's like it's France all over again. It's how it's gonna go. Like, am I wrong?
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the way of France. And if it does happen, how will this impact free speech and how everything is made now?
I don't know. I don't know what's gonna affect free speech.
Huh? Sorry?
I don't know about the whole free speech thing.
It was just an example. It might affect more like individual rights or something. Or even punish people who didn't perform at all. Or even like it could even go worse. It could get even worse than it is now. Like, just delve into fascism. Which is
Jesus,
like,
where's this conversation gone?
huh?
Where's
Sorry?
this conversation gone? Where's this conversation gone?
I don't know. But this is certainly something that we could talk about in another stream.
Yeah.
I guess point is, Star Wars and a lot of modern writers have no clue what they're doing, and I guess it's up to us to make our own new things.
Mm-hmm.
To those who end up watching, I hope you enjoy the stream. I suppose I'll see you around in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
Could be Tuesday,